What's up, guys? Steve here from Rackin' and Reelin'. Last week we did a video on Cabela's seasoning beef jerky, or excuse me, venison jerky we did, and that you'd use a grinder, grind up the meat. We used a meat gun, we laid it out. Check out that video from last week. But I did promise last week that I was going to do my favorite jerky. That happens to be pineapple pepper crusted. It's phenomenal. And that's what you're here to learn how to make now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a meat slicer. I know a lot of guys say that the meat slicer doesn't seem to work very well, but definitely works very well for me. I just pulled the venison out of the freezer. I had it in for an hour. Kind of firms it up a little bit. It's working great to cut on here, so I'm going to slice my 5 pounds up and we'll go from there. So I'm going to whip this around. Alright, so as you can see with the meat slicer, this was where I started. It's about 1/16 of an inch thick. I did bump it up a little bit thicker, so we're like 3/8 of an inch thick, you know, right between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch. That is about perfect. That's what you want. If you don't have the meat slicer, it's perfectly okay. Use a knife. Most guys will use a knife because it definitely it's easy. It's the easiest thing to do. But this is my very first time using a meat slicer. Got this from my parents. Works really good. So I'm just going to continue using it. But I think it really, in all honesty, I think it really works well because it's partially frozen, the meat. So I'm going to keep going with it. Alright, so there you have it. That is a perfect cut for beef jerky, deer jerky, venison jerky. This is going to be excellent meat. Alright, so we got our 5 pounds of venison meat sliced up using the slicer. So now we got our ingredients laid out, pre-measured for you guys. So let me go over this with you. I'm going to have down in the description, we'll have the whole recipe. I'm not acting like this is my recipe. I found this recipe online. I made it a couple months ago, and it's amazing. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. So we have the 5 pounds of venison. We have 1.5 cups of soy sauce. We have 3/4 cup of pineapple juice. We have 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke, 5 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon of red pepper flakes, and 1/2 cup of dark brown sugar. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take all the ingredients, I'm going to mix it into our measuring cup here and mix it all up. Mix this up real good. probably put this in a blender or mixer if you wanted to. I don't really see a need to. You just want to get it good and mixed up. All right, so for this part, I highly recommend gloves because your hands will smell like liquid smoke and soy sauce and all of that stuff for weeks to come. And I don't think the ladies like that very much. So we got our 5 pounds of cut meat. It's time to put in our ingredients that we just mixed up. Spread this out real nice. And mix it up real well. Get it all throughout this meat. Well, this is so much better looking than the last time. It's beautiful shit. Holy crap. I'm in love. Alright, so once you have this mixed in really good, you're gonna cover it up, foil or saran wrap. Throw it in your refrigerator again. Keep it cool for 16 to 20 hours. It's not an exact science. You don't want to keep it in too long. It could get a little funky. And you want to keep it in long enough that the flavor gets into the meat. Shouldn't be a problem. We got perfect cuts. So, all right, we'll see you in 16 hours. 16 hours of marinade. Got it done. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to take it in individual pieces and I'm going to lay them out on doubled up paper towels. I'm not trying to soak up all the wet. I'm just trying to maybe slightly dry. Kind of the last time I made this, I didn't do this step and the jerky was awfully sticky. Not that sticky's a bad thing, but I figured I'd try something new, and you're right along with me to try it. Alright, so we're just going to lightly pat the top. I don't want to take too much off. Just lightly pat it. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we're going to rack it. Lay your meat out. You can see I patted it, but I still have my pepper stuff on there. All the seasoning stayed on, just getting rid of some of the moisture. Help it dry a little better, and then when it is cured, like I said, it won't be quite as sticky. All right, so this jerky is called pineapple pepper crusted. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to crack some black pepper on the top. You'll hear me say this often because I firmly believe in this. When it comes to stuff like this is not an exact science. You don't have to sit there and measure out your black pepper. Put it on to your liking. You want to coat the hell out of it? Go ahead. You just want to go light? Go ahead. Me, I put it on to my liking. Whatever that is. Alright. I'm going to keep going on this. One last thing to do before we throw this in the oven. Last batch of cracked pepper on the top. So we're going to take this, we're going to throw it in the oven at 180 for right around 2 hours. We're going to check it at 2 hours, probably going to have to rotate, do some flipping, maybe add some pepper. It's up to you. That's, again, not rocket science. So 180, 2 hours. Be sure to prop your oven open. I'm using an oven. You guys can use a dehydrator, smoker. Everybody's got an oven in their house, I think. So, you know, use an oven if you can, if you need to, whatever. But prop it open just an inch, half inch. Let some of the it helps let the moisture come out, helps it dry a little better. This is a slow process, no rush. You really can't screw it up unless you screw it up, and that's on you. Alright, so after 2 hours, our top rack is showing that the smaller pieces are nice and dried out already. So we're going to take them and put them on a cooling tray here. No reason to keep drying them, because then they're just going to get super dry and we don't want that. So these thinner little scrapping pieces here, we're going to take and dry them up. And it looks like that's most of our top rack. So what do we got now? We got some chunks on the other racks that I can see. Let me bring this closer to you. It is not 100% done, so they'll go back in and go back on to dry. All right, so we've gone and we've rotated. We've flipped all of our meat, rotated the trays. The top ones here certainly have a little bit more time than the bottoms, but I think it'll all get evenly done. So we're going to put these in for, my batch here is looking like about 1 more hour at the most. So we'll see you in about an hour. All right. So it's been in for another 2 hours. So this top stuff here is starting to get really good. I think it's about done. What I might do is pick through this. What I feel is completely dry, I'm going to throw onto the tray. Like, here's a thinner piece that's certainly done. Yeah, again, use your best judgment and pick through it. If you feel like it needs more, put it in for more. If it doesn't need more, put it on the tray. You don't want to go ahead and dry this out too much, unless you like it super dry and crispy. All right, so I'm going to put this in probably for like maybe a half hour at the 180, if that, maybe 20 minutes. You got to really closely monitor it. Like I said, I don't want it totally dried out, but it's damn close to being done. So I think I'm going to finish up with this video. Yeah, if you like these kind of videos, outdoorsy kind of stuff, slam that subscribe button, hit that little bell, then you know when we put videos out. Yeah, pineapple pepper crusted jerky. It's good stuff. Thanks for watching. After eating it, it's got a fantastic taste, but I think what I would do next time is I would not totally dry it out with the towels. I would take it out of the marinade, put it onto the paper towel, and then I would, instead of dabbing the top, I would put that right on the drying rack. Leave it a little bit more moist. It'll probably, your meat's gonna come out a little more moist and flavorful. Not that this came out bad, but it's just another little hint from Steve from Rackin' and Reelin'. See ya.
Those look so good.
Don't go into the frame, ass.
What?
We're still recording.